You know, you want something done, sometimes you got to do it yourself. Not expecting any help from the conservative supermajority in the Idaho State House, a group of Idahoans want to give Idaho voters the option of deciding on abortion rights in the Gem State. Idahoans United for Women and Families has filed 4 draft petitions with the state. Different options they hope Idaho voters could get behind. Well, they hope they could get behind at least one because that's all that will get on the ballot, and hopefully they think it will get on the ballot for 2026. But just how much would their proposal change Idaho's current near total abortion ban? Joe Paris asked them.
Polarizing is one way to describe the topic of abortion laws and reproductive rights. Idaho remains a major player in the national proving grounds with one of the strictest abortion laws in the country. A total abortion ban, except in cases of rape, incest, and to save the life of the mother.
We're the poster child for these extreme laws across the country.
Melanie Falwell is a part of Idahoans United for Women and Families, a group that questions if lawmakers and Idahoans are on the same page when it comes to reproductive rights. Survey data sheds light on the question.
For 69% of Idahoans, they feel that though we all have strong feelings about abortion, we shouldn't impose those feelings on others. And moreover, that the government shouldn't step in and impose those feelings.
A related insight from polling: the decision should be personal.
63% of Idahoans believe that a sensitive private medical decision, like an abortion, should be made between a woman and her doctor and her family, maybe her clergy, not the government, not with politicians, not with lawyers, with a doctor.
It's those insights that pushed Idahoans United for Women and Families to draft petition language for new laws that they hope Idahoans can vote on in 2026. There are 4 draft ideas. Proposals 1, 2, and 3 are framed as Reproductive Freedom and Privacy Acts with broader language about reproductive rights, including abortions, fertility treatments like in vitro, and rights to use things like contraceptives. Proposals 1 and 2 prohibit state interference with abortion care before 20 and 24 weeks, respectively. Proposal 3 uses quote-unquote fetal viability instead of a specific week. Proposal 4 is more narrowly focused on the right to abortion under certain circumstances, mirroring narrow language that Idaho's medical community has called for in terms of abortion care in emergent or emergency situations. The goal, though, is to select one concept for voters to consider.
We're looking at a policy that best represents what our stakeholders, what our doctor community would like to see, what the patient community would like to see, and quite frankly, the feedback that we're getting from everyday Idahoans as they look at these policies.
The campaign comes as a response to lawmakers who continue to be criticized by the medical community for passing a vague set of laws that some believe are extreme and simply catering to a specific political subset, not the entire state.
You know, politicians are doing the game of politics. They are trying to speak to what turns out to be a very vocal minority in this state, a very loud minority in this state. And unfortunately, they are kind of running the show, particularly on policies around reproductive health.
So the group is going to make a decision this fall in terms of really what draft they want to go with. And in terms of getting signatures, no signatures or petitions are published yet. There's a long ways to go. There's a whole process that has to go through this. But I did ask about issues with the Attorney General's office. We have seen some concerns and some issues between the AG's office and Idahoans for open primaries. Brian, when I asked about working with the AG's office, Melanie, who you heard from in that story, says that from what she's hearing, the AG's office is looking forward to working with them to have a clean and concise title that'll come out soon.
What's interesting is that when this trigger law was passed in 2020, it was kind of passed in a vacuum. Some might say for political points. They didn't expect it was actually going to become a thing after the Dobbs decision. And when we've spoken to several current and former lawmakers, they admit there's a flaw in this bill or this law. And maybe this could be the way to address it. And because the group, nobody wants to take it up at the State House.
And that's what the group says, is that they've had 2 legislative sessions, really haven't done anything about it. So here's their answer.
All right. Thanks, Joe.